The NBA Finals going on right now between the Pacers and the Thunder. This has been a matchup, that's got a lot of talking points. And just so everyone knows, we're filming this on a Tuesday. So in case, whatever happens in Game 3, we don't know what's going down yet.
Yeah.
In Game 3,
Yeah.
this will be released on Thursday after Game 3. But from what you've seen so far, Alex, what do you think about this matchup? And it's been back and forth so far in the first two games.
It has, and I think the two best teams are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I feel that, we're seeing the NBA go to a different level this playoff series, and the others that have been gone, the preliminary stuff. I've seen some great athletes that were just phenomenal. But the Indiana Pacers, who is my second team,
Yeah, of course.
who I played for, and OKC, they've got young players that are just great players, and that are going to be even better. Gilgeous-Alexander is just amazing. But then you look around and see the different talents that's around him. You know who I like? I like Lou Dort.
Okay.
Lou Dort is like a little tough linebacker that plays tough defense, but then he can go down on the offense and just make three-pointers.
Yeah.
Make three-pointers. And then Jay Williams, another one. They got two of them, two Williamses that are Jay. But I like that talent. But Gilgeous-Alexander is the needle that brings all the thread together and make them work. Holmgren, I like him. But then you look at Indiana. Indiana's got some players that are special as well. The big kid in the middle, I forget his name. He's a center, but he shoots threes. I like him. He just works hard.
Yeah.
And the rest of the players, I like them all. And the one thing that I've noticed is on both of those teams, they're Canadian players.
Mm-hmm.
I coached in Canada for 7 years, but seeing that they've got not just regular, Gilgeous-Alexander, Canadian player.
Yeah.
Lou Dort, Canadian player. And Indiana's got a few. I say the Canadian basketball team, the new Olympic teams, they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah.
But they've learned from us in the States.
Yeah, and the Pacers, what stood out to me is I know that they lost game 2, but they don't give up. I mean, these games that you think that they are out of,
Yes.
5 minutes later, they're right back in it, and it's been thrilling to watch. To me, they've been the best story of this postseason so far, but it's been really fun to watch that never say die attitude.
Yeah.
And it just feels like no matter how much these teams are trying to just, knock them out, they just keep clawing their way back.
They just keep working, and I really like their team. They've got a kid from Charleston area, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Neesmith or one of the kids? He's from the Charleston area that played down there. But they've got a great collection of talent as well. And the coach, Rick Carlisle is a very good coach.
Yeah. What and I know this season too, there's been so much talk about the state of the NBA. People talk about ratings, they talk about market size, they're talking about all these types of things. What do you think of where the league is at in 2025?
Well, I guess all you have to do is look at the contract they just negotiated with ESPN, and that tells you.
Yeah, a lot of money.
There's a lot of money. But I think that one of the things, and I think Adam Silver mentioned this, is that he'd like to see the game get away from coming out shooting a lot of three-pointers, and getting back into the creativity of the game, which I say is between the three-point line and the basket. But I think that these guys that are playing, they've gotten so expert at shooting the three, it's kind of hard to take that away. But the state of the game is, I think it's okay. I think these young players, they're making new stars. And, stars drive, the television ratings. And Gilgeous-Alexander and who's got the kid coming from Duke.
Yeah, Cooper Flag.
Cooper Flag is going to bring some more energy to the game. So I think the state of the game is okay. I mean, I wish I was playing now. They're making $40 and $50 million a year.
Yeah.
So that's but that's all due to, what the former players have done to keep the game, building the game, and and our negotiations with the NBA. And I remember being a NBA player rep, and how important it was back then, what we negotiated as far as negotiating to be part owners of the league itself, getting 53% of the gross, and all the things that you wanted to throw into that. The owners didn't want to put in TV and radio.
Yeah.
But we made them do it. We made them put in the boxes. We made them put in parking. All the different things that they put into that box now, it's even expanded, because now you've got the different little games they play, and you got so many platforms to put the games on. And if we hadn't done that then, they probably would have said, well, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Then, we would, the ESPNs, the YouTubes, and all these other platforms that they've added. That's how they can pay these players, and then they've increased the fan base. Now you've got USBL, NBA Africa.
I think something that's been amazing to watch is how all of these other countries, like you said earlier, are starting to compete with the United States because of what you guys did and the growth of the game. It's not just the U.S. versus everybody anymore. It's so many countries that are now developing these players, and that's just making the league even better.
Yes, one of the things that I did in the past 7 years is that I would go to China and go to the different NBA sites and teach. So the Chinese kids could learn the game of basketball, and it's so big there. That's probably the biggest audience.
Really?
The Chinese, yes.
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how the Pacers and the Thunder play out, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the NBA continues to grow even further through these next years. I know LeBron, Steph still in it, but the new generation is starting to come, and it's a lot of fun.